And the reason I love the Spitfire, number one, is the looks. This was the hot rod BSA of the 60s. Handles well, looks great, and with the Hornet high pipes on it and the alloy tank, it has just the look I want, and I love to ride it. Hi, I'm Brian Pearson. We're in Dana Point, Southern Orange County today, a beautiful day at the beach. This is my pride and joy, a 67 BSA Spitfire Mark III Special. Like a lot of men my age, I grew up with British bikes. I've owned Matchless, AJS, and Greaves, but the bike I remember most is a 63 BSA Gold Star dirt tracker that I raced in Orange County and Riverside County for a while. So last year when I was getting close to retirement and I decided I wanted a vintage bike, a mid-60s BSA with some dirt track relationship is what I wanted. I always liked the Spitfire, and I liked the Hornet, the dirt version of the Spitfire, because I raced against them. So I looked at a few Hornets, and they were mostly thrashed from racing and not in great shape. But last year I found from a collector up in Northern California this beautifully restored 67 Spitfire. And I thought, wow, I could buy this and make a few changes to it, take some things off it, put some Hornet stuff on it, and I would have basically a street legal Spitfire, a street tracker. So that's what I did. I bought it from the collector. It had been restored in 2008 by Don Harrell in Visalia, a master restorer of British bikes. It was a complete tear-down rebuild. He took it down to the frame and put it back together. Everything's been powder-coated, chromed, all new cables, wiring, electrical, rubber, upholstery. The motor's been gone through, new amyl concentric carburetors, just everything redone. What appealed to me about this bike were a couple of things. First, it's the British market version of the Spitfire, not the American. It's got the lower bars, the alloy tank, which was an option at the time, a 5-gallon alloy tank, the Acront rims. The American version had kind of swoopy bars and a little small 2-gallon fiberglass tank. So this was the bike that appealed to me. And Don Harrell did such a gorgeous job restoring it, it would have been difficult to pass up. So I bought it in May of last year, and since then I have made a few changes with the help of Classic Cycles in Orange. They helped me out a lot. First of all, I put the Hornet Scrambler pipes on it. We found the Hornet 67 Hornet pipes in Canada and the heat shields in Austria, and Classic Cycles built a special bracket for them. And I've taken the passenger pegs off, the passenger grab rail. I took the center stand off for a little more ground clearance. It really helps a lot in cornering, and having the high pipes also helps. So it gave me the look I wanted on the bike. The straight pipes were a little noisy to start with, so I found some internal baffles that I was able to put inside, which keeps the noise down roughly to just not much louder than stock. Some of the features of the bikes that I really like are, number one, the alloy tank, as I mentioned. The fiberglass tank was stock 4-gallon on the British version and 2-gallon on the US version. Way too small for a ride where you want to put a few miles on. So the alloy tank was great. It also works well in terms of the ethanol, because the ethanol can attack some of the old fiberglass tanks, but the alloy still works well with that. It has a racing lid on it, and I get about 140, 150 miles, and it looks beautiful. I love to polish alloy. It's not a Spitfire motor. It's a Lightning motor, which is virtually the same as a Spitfire motor, but has lower compression, 9-to-1 instead of 10-to-1. The original Spitfire had a reputation for being unreliable and losing its lower end, which is, I suspect, what happened on this bike, and they ended up replacing it with the Lightning motor. It's also been rebuilt during the restoration. Twin amyl concentric carbs, which are spot on. Starts on the first try, runs great. I'm having an absolutely great time riding it. I ride it regularly. The bike, when it was finished restoration, had about 20,000 miles on it. I've put about 1,000 miles on it since the restoration. The bike is just a lot of fun to ride. It even has folding pegs, like the mid-60s dirt bikes have. So it's just very reliable. I haven't had a problem with it. It's a bike that's perfect for me, and it's the vintage bike that I've always wanted.